Everybody knows that race car drivers are competitive, but so are automobile dealers. Case in point, this is Joel Weinberg. He owns Continental Mazda of Naperville and races in the Playboy MX5 series. So you're out there against other dealerships as well. A little extra pressure for you?
Well, we're good. We are friendly competitors, so it's not really extra pressure. We're going to have good fun. It's, we tend to race our regular spec Miatas out here as a members series. So when the pro races come to town, it's a little extra excitement. And, we know the track well. The regular series competitors know their cars better than we do probably. So it's going to be a good battle, not only with our friendly competitors locally, but also the guys that are coming from out of state.
One of the other local Mazda dealers competing in the series, the Autobahn Mazda of Countryside. The driver is Dan Bender, and little extra pressure to outperform the other dealerships when you're out there?
A little bit. It's not too much. We're all friends off the track, but on the track, it gets a little bit, and we have some fun. These Mazdas are wonderful to drive, and dealerships are great as well.
Richard Fisher owns the dealership that Dan drives for, and you also race. What do you get out of this whole thing?
Lots of fun, a sense of competitive spirit, and it's a great event for Autobahn. When the pro races come to town, the club becomes more of a destination. More people get to see it, and we really enjoy it. Have a fun weekend.
And then we get to see who gets the bragging rights in the sales meeting Monday morning.
We are back, the Playboy Mazda MX5 Cup. Watching Brad Rampelberg, 3 wins on the season, leads the win parade in the Playboy Mazda MX5 Cup Series. Right behind race leader Nick Evans, youngster from Powell, Ohio. Third spot belongs to Connecticut's Justin Piscatell. Michael Cooper from Long Island in New York next in line, battling behind these four. These four have started to separate themselves, almost 4 seconds ahead of the 5th place battle now, and we're almost a third of the way home, Bill Stevens.
And we talk a lot about these MX-5s being momentum cars. It's important not to overbrake the car, not to choose the wrong gear, not to get the car off. Anything that slows these cars down is going to be critical to how well they perform. Also, the aerodynamics of these cars come into play. That's why drafting is an important factor. I spoke to Brad Rampelberg earlier today, and I asked him, I said, the MX-5 looks like a pretty sleek car. Why is it that there seems to be a little bit of a disadvantage aerodynamically on the racetrack? He said, you know why? Because the car has no top. He says when these cars are at speed, the air kind of sucks down into the cockpit and slows the cars down. He says if these cars were allowed to race with roofs on them, they'd probably pick up a little bit of time on the road course.
Wow. Hadn't thought about that, Elliot. Aero, and even in these cars, a car that's maybe a 130, 140-mile race car, really important.
Oh, it is on almost any car when you get up that speed. That's why the drafting still helps. And it looks like Carpenter here has made a little mistake, and 3 guys or maybe 4 guys have gone by him. And it's let Lionel Kent up into the 5th place spot, and his teammate Jesse Combs right behind him. So those guys are working their way up. I don't know if they're going to catch these front 4, but they've had a heck of a battle there getting through.
Watching the leaders in turn 1. As Elliot has pointed out, very unusual corner. It's got 2 distinct sections in it, as does turn 2 as they make this run down a short straightaway to the right-hander here. Still Evans in front. Rampelberg has taken a look a couple of times, has gotten up on the quarter panel of Evans, hasn't been able to mount a charge and make a really strong passing attempt. Piscatell kind of watching back there with Michael Cooper to see if the 2 leaders make a mistake as much as anything else. And then a great battle from 5th on back, and 5th has changed hands. It is Lionel Kent from Knoxville who qualified 9th. He's advanced to 5th, and here's Kent leading this parade. Jesse Combs in 6th. The Alara team principal, Malkasian, is 7th. And then you've got Mosing back there and Mark Carpenter fighting it out. Mosing actually a couple of spots further back. Dan Bender has moved up now, and he is in the top 10.
Yeah, and as we watch the leaders go through here, and if it was me, it's almost easier to run second. The leader is going to use up his tires a little bit more because he's going to have to go deep enough so that he makes sure nobody goes by him. He's going to be trying to carry all the speed he can through the corner. And the car behind him also has the advantage as they get to these little short straights. There's not a lot there, but when you get in the draft of somebody else, it's going to let you close up what you lost in the last corner. So you don't have to get that corner quite as fast as the car in front of you so that you can draft back up on him, and it does help you. Now, Nick's taking a little bit of a defensive line, so it's actually not a defensive line. He's just letting him know that, I really don't want you going up the inside, so I'm going to run in the middle of the course here for a minute. But, it does... you want to be just so that guy isn't thinking about going by you all the time. And these guys are working it, and I think that with their 4 of them, they do have to watch the mirror even in 2nd place because the car behind him, if they if they make a move and it doesn't work and they lose speed, they can lose that position as well. So it's a tough situation, but I'll tell you what, this is the most fun it gets when you're sitting there out with a group of guys racing together in equal cars.
Absolutely. It's just hammer and tongs battling here at Autobahn Country Club, Joliet, Illinois. Nick Evans, pole qualifier, continues to lead. Here's Rampelberg. He's going to take a look on the inside again. Doesn't quite have enough. This section of the racetrack is where Rampelberg, I think, is better maybe than Nick Evans.
Yeah, it might be. And that, to me, that's the turn 16 is the toughest place on the whole racetrack. It's a long turn, decreasing radius corner that you just have to hang out at the outside and turn it at the last minute. But it looks right now that Rampelberg's got some speed on Nick Evans, and he's trying to make him nervous. He's going to pull to the left. He's going to pull to the right. He's going to make him look in the mirror and see if he can get him to worry about him rather than where he's driving, and give himself a better advantage.
Just flash that fender in the guy's mirrors, make him think about it a little. Bill Stevens, what's going on where you are?
Well, I just got word that some of the drivers, specifically those up toward the front, have been warned a couple of times by the Playboy Mazda MX5 Cup officials not to block. I guess they have been a little bit unhappy with the way some of the drivers are moving off the racing line, and a couple teams have already heard from the officials to cut it out.
Well, after what happened at Edmonton in the IndyCar event a couple of weeks ago when Elio Castroneves lost a win for that very thing, I think that's kind of top of mind for most people in this sport. All right, Nick Evans gunning for his first career win is your leader. We'll be back.